Hey everybody, welcome to step number one in the multi-step process that is making your coffee tables. What you're going to need for this project at the beginning here is a ruler, a tape measure, a pencil, and the project plans. Okay. The first thing you're going to do when you're going to get in here is you're going to go into the lumber storage room and grab one of your boards, so one of your wood types. So in front of me, I've got a few different examples of oak. I probably didn't need to grab 3 boards. You should probably just stick with 1 or 2, but I just kind of wanted to show you a few examples of what to do with different widths. So, okay, once you get your board in front of you that you're happy with, you're going to make something out of. You're going to look at your first page of our handout, and you're going to mainly focus on the part list. Okay, this is going to tell you the different part widths, part lengths, and quantities, so we can kind of start laying out what we're going to cut where on our boards. Okay, so from the lumber yard, you know, when we order by board foot, we have no idea how many boards we're going to get, exactly how long they're going to be, or how wide they are. So this is when we need to look at our plans and start adapting to the material we have to work with. Okay, at the beginning, this should be really easy. You have 20 different boards there that we're going to have to get cut out of this material. And so you got a lot of different puzzle pieces, different size puzzle pieces to try to get the most yield out of these boards. What I don't want to see is our scrap bins just filling up the very first day because we're so wasteful and we didn't try to maximize it. So when you have so many 20 different size pieces, you know, this first board that we choose, we should darn near get, you know, the entire board used up. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by, you know, looking at the widths and the lengths and looking at the material and kind of coming up with a plan. So, you know, with this first board I grabbed, it's, you know, just over 5 inches wide. Now, what can I do with that? How can I get the most out of that? Okay, the top boards I'm going to be making, my tops are going to be 3 3/8 wide. So yeah, I could get 3 3/8 wide, but what am I going to do with that almost 2 inches left over? Like, well, the legs are 2 inches wide, so maybe I could do top, you know, depending on the length, maybe I could only get 3 tops. And then maybe leg. But when you think about kerf and you think about how this edge is, one of these edges is good and jointed. Remember we talked about how we pay for one good jointed edge and the other is going to be really rough and uneven. You know, so there's going to be a kerf, and then I'm going to have to cut a little off the, you know, that's getting pretty tight. So, you know, maybe for this board, the best use of it would be, you know, I got to make 8 legs, and each leg is 15 1/4 long. So 2 and 2 would be 4, plus a little bit of kerf in between them and a little bit of waste on the edge of that board. Maybe that's the best use for this board. So kind of start thinking about that. You know, when I look at this really wide board, honestly, this board is closer to 8, you know, like 7 3/4 or better. You know, I could definitely get, let's see, 3 3/8, 3 3/8. Let's see, that'd be, you know, that's under 7. So just under 7. So actually, with this long board, if I have my long is 42 and my short is 24, that's 60. So, or 66, excuse me. You know, so this edge is really rough. We gotta, so I'm not gonna be too precise here just yet, because I know I wanna cut some off of that. Remember, the ends are not square at all, so I definitely wanna cut that before I start doing some measuring and final lines. Okay, so 66 would be here, and that would be it. That'd be all of my tops. My 2 top longs, my 2 top shorts, and again, I don't have much waste on the end. If I have an inch or more, that could be trim. So, I mean, we've got this, I think we're going to get a lot out of this board if we go with this one. So 66, you know, roughly what do I have left from the other side? And again, that end is rough too. So, I mean, we're kind of 34 on the dot. Oh, that's unfortunate. The skirt longs are 34. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that. But I probably could get the skirt shorts. Those are 16. And like, so with a little bit of cutoff, you know, I think the 16 is actually going to be pretty efficient. So that is step 1. Getting your first board, starting to do the math, how to get the most out of it, waste as little as possible. Okay, you may not be able to get your whole project out of 1 board. You're probably going to need 2, maybe even 3. But, you know, definitely try to be as efficient as possible. It's going to be really tough at the end because you're only going to have 2 legs left. What do I do? You know, at that point, you either partner with somebody else and say, hey, you're making your project the same material as me. Do you got any material left for legs? Or I just need 1 skirt short. You know, you could do that. Or we do have this scrap bin. Again, it's not scrap wood. It's just basically boards that were too short to go back into the storage room on those long shelves. So pieces that are still useful, we could still make parts out of them. That is a great place to go for getting your last piece. Or if you finish and you just have that 1 odd piece that's really good, could have been something, but you were out of stuff, you know, that's where it would go. So that's step 1. Step 2, I'll kind of come up with a plan, and I'll take you through the table saw and the miter saw for the next steps, for the first few cuts.